Morning students. Today we discuss about 12th D Commerce video 1. In this video 1 we discuss a new chapter, that is consumer protection. So in this video 1, in this chapter we discuss about the rights and duties of consumer. So rights of consumer point of view, the modern marketing concept recognize the fact that the consumer is the pivotal point around which the entire business moves. So the business movement, the business activities which are involved in the consumer movement. So consumer is the very important role in the success of the business. Satisfaction of consumer wants and needs is stated to be the prime and supreme objective of a business. So consumer ought to be satisfied. Then only the business will develop, and also the success of the business will depend upon the consumer satisfaction. But in reality, consumer feel he is supplied with adulterated stuff at a price far above the cost price. So, but in real practice, the consumer ought to be exploited by way of increase in the price, higher price, or quality is not a satisfied one. So these are some of the reason for the consumers are not to be satisfied. So in order to protect their own interest, consumers must educate themselves about their rights. So in order to save the consumer from the unscrupulous traders, they are to be educated to know about the rights of the consumer. So consumer rights is interpreted as the right to have information about the quality, potency, quantity, purity, price and standard of the goods or services. So consumer rights is to be educated to the consumer about the quality of the product, price and necessity, and also standard. Everything about the product and services should be known by the consumer through educate the consumers. So John F. Kennedy's view on consumer rights. The former president of the USA, Mr. John F. Kennedy, defined the basic consumer rights as the right of safety, the right to be informed, the right to choose, and the right to be heard. So this president, former president of USA, John F. Kennedy, says about the consumer rights, right of safety. So they should be safe first. Right to be informed. All the information about the product should be informed to the consumer. Right to choose. They will have a right to choose the best product for them. Right to be heard, and they have to be follow the rules and regulations of the product while consuming. So the consumer is the king of the modern marketing, but in fact he is not. The various rights of consumers guaranteed under the Consumer Protection Act have been discussed. So the consumer ought to be the king and all the business people ought to be the bishop. So business people will serve for the consumer. So but in reality it is not like that. Business people look like a king and consumers ought to be act as a bishop. So the various rights of consumers guaranteed under the Consumer Protection Act ought to be educated. Right to protection of health and the right of safety. There may be few products that are more likely to cause physical danger to consumers' health, lives and property. So they may contain potentially harmful substances which are dangerous from the consumer welfare point of view. So there are certain products which are to be give a danger to the health, life and property. So that type of product are not to be reached to the consumer hands, or if it can be reached to the consumer hands, first it can be tested by the government and then give permission to send the product to the market. And they may contain potentially harmful substances which are dangerous from the consumer welfare point of view. The best example of this kind of food additives, colors, preservatives, etc. The health hazards which are likely to arise have to be eradicated or reduced altogether. So, in case of food items and drugs, both life-saving and life-sustaining safety is to be guaranteed. So, some food items and some services which are to be given to the consumer, it can be a quality one, and it can be given as a sustaining safety to be guaranteed. One thing that is encouraging today is that recent legislations have shifted the responsibilities for the production of such unsafe items onto the shoulders of sellers rather than on buyers. So, some of the goods which are to be hazardous to the consumer health, it can be not to be produced by the producer. So, there should be some restriction given to the seller instead of the buyer. Right to be informed. Consumer should be given all the relevant fact about the product so that they can take intelligent decisions on purchasing the product. So consumer are to be informed of all the information about the product which are going to be bought by the consumer. So advertising and labeling on the package should provide objective information to buyers. So proper advertisement will be given about the product in order to know about the product by the consumers. This implies that manufacturer and the dealer are expected to disclose all the material facts relevant and relating to the product. So the business people, the manufacturer should give all the relevant informations to the consumer for consuming the product. The package should contain the full details about the name of the product, composition, dosage, date of manufacturing, date of expiry, batch number, warning, etc. So all the informations about the product, manufacturing date, expiry date, price, and also the packaging number, everything should be mentioned in the product. In addition, it should clarify as to the name of the manufacturer, price with or without tax. Such information goes a long way towards saving the consumer against a possible deceit. So, manufacturer name should also be mentioned in the product itself. Right to choose. Consumer satisfaction is the ultimate aim of modern marketing and is the philosophy of marketing concept. So consumer satisfaction is the main part in the modern marketing. So they are to be satisfied. It can be done by the quality goods which are produced by the manufacturers. A wise trader or dealer or manufacturer is one who maximizes his profit by maximizing the consumer satisfaction. A good business people, a good trader or dealer is one, he should maximize the profit by way of maximize the quality of the product, not the increase in the price of the product. Consumer satisfaction can be increased by giving the consumer the widest choice. The term choice means offering the widest range of product in quality and brand varieties at reasonable price. So choice means different varieties of product which are to be produced by the consumer manufacturer, but they will not increase the price. They will fix a reasonable price, depends upon the quality of the product. In short, consumers should have access to varieties of goods in terms of color, quality, design, size, etc. Right to seek redressal. This step is one step ahead of the various right. The complaint and the protest are not just to be heard, but the aggrieved party is to be granted a compensation within a reasonable time period. There should be prompt settlement of complaints and claims lodged by the aggrieved customers. So whatever anything about the hazardous to the consumer, so they can make a complaint with the business people and get a compensation with a reasonable time period. So there should be prompt settlement of complaints and claims lodged by the aggrieved customers. This will boost consumer confidence and help render justice to the buyers. There should be fair and just settlement of deserving claims in definite time frame. So claim and rechange of the product must be done by the manufacturer with a reasonable time period. So with that we conclude this video 1 and we continue the same topic in video 2. Thank you.